Namaste, welcome to DocHollyHealth. Thanks for being here. I'll be your yoga physical therapist today for SI pain. That pain that we get here in the low back, that's sharp, doesn't feel good. It can radiate, it can switch from side to side. We're going to do exercises in a yoga sequence to provide some relief. We'll talk about it throughout. Let's get started. You need one yoga block or a pillow. Make your way onto your back. If it feels better, roll onto your side first. With bent knees, come onto your back. Release the shoulders away from your ears. Take a moment to become present in this moment. Just releasing your to-do list, releasing yesterday. Take a breath to let go and arrive here on your mat. Inhale. Open your mouth, sigh it out. Exhale, release. Good. We're going to first find neutral spine. Sometimes just finding this neutral spine is gonna take pressure off of that exact point that you're feeling the pain. So we want our ribs and our hips to be stacked, one over the other. Sometimes we get in these positions where we're either overly posteriorly pelvic tilted, that's when we really curl our hip points to our rib points, or sometimes we get, more often in SI pain, overly anterior pelvic tilted, where we're arching our back. You can see how that automatically puts pressure on that spot. So find halfway between the two, neutral spine. Your back is going towards flat against the mat, but often there is still a little bit of space left, okay? So check your positioning. Do what you have to do to stack these points. Check with your hands. Sometimes it helps to do a couple pelvic tilts each way and then find that neutral spine. Once you get there, perform a Kegel, stop the flow of urine, and build the core from your lower belly up to your heart center. That's going to help really protect that whole area around the pelvis. Practice doing that a couple times. Inhale, release any work. Exhale, do a Kegel, and ice cream scoop your core up and in. This is just basic core activation, your deepest core muscle, the transversus abdominis. Inhale, release. Exhale, build up and in. This takes practice, so you don't have to be able to do it right away. Inhale, release. Exhale, get that neutral spine. Build the core up and together. So your belly button's not only suctioning back, but it's kind of scooping up towards your heart center. Inhale, release. Exhale, scoop up and together. Engage your core. Inhale, let go. Let's do two more. Exhale, find the activation. Inhale, release. Exhale, find the core activation. Keep this core activation. Take your yoga block or your pillow. Place it in between your knees. I like to do the long ways right underneath my knee joint, and then walk your feet so they're about as wide. You want your knees over your toes, so it's like the distance on the other side of the yoga block or the pillow is how far your feet should be. Wiggle the shoulders away from your ears. Squeeze the yoga block about 50% effort, not as hard as you can. And then you're going to lift the hips like a bridge, keeping that rib-hip alignment, keeping our neutral spine, so there's no extra compression on the SI, and then lower down. Lift the hips up. Think of shooting the tailbone through the knees and squeezing your glutes at the top, and then release back down. So you're working on the technique of a bridge. You can start with the thumbs and fingertips together to make sure they stay equidistant. Squeeze the glutes, lower. It's not about speed, it's about getting that good contraction. You can squeeze, top your glutes. Am I squeezing them? And then release them down. It's a lot different to just go through the motion versus actually mentally bringing your mind to the glutes, recruiting that muscle and then lowering it back down. It's about breathing with it. Use your intrinsic breathing capability. Exhale on the effort. Inhale on the lower. You can see how you really can get them going when your mind, body forward, when you're thinking about it, when you're going this slow. We're gonna do 2 more. Mind in the body, squeeze and release. You can take the yoga block out, windshield wiper, side to side. Good. So a lot of times with SI pain, we can get this almost misfiring of the muscles around the pelvis. So when we're overly anterior pelvic tilted, what happens is our low back grips and does a lot of the work, and our core muscles get lengthened and weak, as well as our glute muscles. So being able to work the core is going to help us bring everything into alignment, and being able to strengthen the glutes like what we just did is going to help use our glutes as our primary mover instead of the low back. So this foundation is going to be key for you in activating and recruiting the muscles properly around the pelvis and SI. So to get your core and to keep this neutral spine, we're gonna do an isometric contraction. Bring the left knee up to a 90-degree angle. Place your left hand on your thigh. We're going to push down with the left hand as you push up with the thigh. So it is a hip flexion, isometric contraction, but what else does hip flexion is the core in reverse action. If you don't know what that means, it's okay, but the core does this movement as well. So I want you to think about what's going on with your core. I want you to do what we did at the beginning, do the Kegel, build the core contraction up and in as you press your hand down and push your thigh up. So on the count of 3, we're gonna push with the hand, pull with the knee for a 5-second hold, and then we're gonna release, reset, and repeat. Get your hand on your left thigh, get your right hand across your hip bones, build the Kegel, build the core, feel that firm and across the hip bones. Push down with the left hand, pull up with the left knee for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Again, exhale, push, 5, 4, gather your core, 3, 2, 1, release. Let's do 3 more. Push, pull with the knee, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Last 2, 5, 4, think about it, 3, 2, 1, release. Again for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Switch sides. So the left hand is going to feel for the hip evenness and core contraction. Right knee up, right hand against the right thigh. Set your core. Release tension in the upper body. Begin your push for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, release. Exhale, push. 5, 4, good. 3, 2, 1. Release. push for 5, 4, continue, 3, 2, 1, release, 2 more, this is the work, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release, push for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Good, windshield wiper, right to left, let your knees fall to the right, fall to the left. And then pull those knees into your chest, give yourself a hug, roll to either side, press yourself up, and swivel your body around to tabletop. In this tabletop, find your neutral spine, so tuck the hip points under, feel the evenness across your hips. Keep this back flat, shoulders pinned away from your ears, and just start to push the hips back without tucking the hips under. It helps to do this in front of a mirror or videotape yourself to see how you're moving. See how my back stays flat and I keep the neutral spine versus letting my pelvis tilt one way or the other. This is just a nice rock back. It's nice for body awareness and for building this pattern in your daily life so that when you go to pick something up off the floor or just naturally move, your body knows how to find this neutral position where you don't put too much pressure on the SI joint. Good, one more time. Find neutral. If you've got your yoga block or pillow, place it in between your thighs, squeeze it together. Again, get those hands under shoulders, knees under hips, always precisely aligning your body. We're gonna kick it up a notch. If you're ready for it, join me. Curl your toes into the mat, elicit that core scooping action. Push your shoulder blades slightly apart, puffing up your upper back like a cat, and then lift up off the ground in floating tabletop. Hold this for 5 breaths, in and out the nose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the knees. Take an inhale. Exhale, round 2. Lift off. 5, 4, 3. Keep engaging. 2, 1. Release. You really want to find that core compression. If you feel yourself ever bearing down, you're either going too far or try to recruit and do it properly. If you can't, then just you're not ready for it yet. Build it up until you can get there, even if you're just holding for 1 breath right now. 3rd time, last time, lift. 5, press your hands. 4, scoop your core. 3, 2, 1, lower down. Good, get rid of the yoga block. Sit back on your heels. Just take a second to release the shoulders, roll them a couple times, shake out the wrist, clasp your hands together, and keep the elbows by your sides. And just do 3 wrist circles each way, and the other way. Now we're gonna do a little yoga mobility, some down dog and stretching some inner thigh and outer IT band muscles. So this is a little bit bigger of a step because we're doing some transitions between the poses, and that requires you to be able to keep the core contracted like this pretty much the whole time through. So do what you can today. Listen in. Find downward facing dog, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, curl your toes into the mat, draw your hips up and back. It can help to start keeping the knees slightly bent if you need to. Really drive the hands down, especially your index finger and your thumb pushing into the mat, and just kind of bend one knee and straighten the other to tolerance. It doesn't have to be all the way straight yet. Remember, ours can look different, and that's okay. Just feeling out your muscles, drawing the tailbone back, tucking the ribs down, and then find what feels good for you as a full expression of it now. Use your core strength to take your right foot, look forward and take it outside your right hand to the edge of your yoga mat. Squeeze your inner thighs, lift the chest. Now we're in a lizard lunge. So here I'm really scooping up and in on my core, and I'm really squeezing my inner thighs together to use my active muscle strength, my left thigh squeezing, everything's kind of working together. And then you're gonna take your left foot, spin it flat, and then walk your hands back with the elongated spine, left toes turned out. And now you're in this lateral yoga lunge, which we call Skandasana or surfer's lunge. Take your right toes and right kneecap to the sky or ceiling and squeeze your thigh. We're gonna go back to the front and sit into the right now. So we're opening this inner thigh. Walk it to the back. I'm outside and something just fell from the tree above me, so don't mind that. Walk it to the back. This is South Florida. The perks of South Florida. Walk it to the back. Walk it to the front. Now watch, turn all 10 toes to the front. Hands are still inside the right foot. Re-engage those muscles. Keep the left hand down, but you're really using core to transition as you spin all 10 toes to the right. Lift the hips up and bring the right arm overhead. Now kind of stretching into that IT band on the right. Lower the hips down, reach the right arm back towards the left foot. Drive the hips back up, right arm to the sky. Let's go for 3. Inhale, exhale, last 1. Good, now take this right arm, cartwheel it back to the front of the mat. Step back to plank. If you need to, plank lower onto your knees. And then bend your knees, push it back to downward facing dog. And we'll just simply do the other side. Almost there. Recenter yourself, re-engage your breath, re-engage the core. Always reminding yourself. Now take the left foot to the outside, big step of the left hand. Reach that chest forward, always finding expansion, elongation. It's about finding space in your body here and supporting it with your muscles. Squeeze the inner thighs, push the left foot down. Now we're gonna walk it to a lateral lunge, the back right foot. So start to spin your back right foot open, toes out, heels in, and then walk your hands over to the back right. Sit into the right hip, let the left toes and kneecap go up to the sky. If you're a lot higher than this, that's okay too. Walk it to the back left, sit low. You don't have to be as deep as me. It takes time. It takes daily consistency. This is your first time doing mobility work and you're just up here right now. That's okay. Good, let's go one more to the back. One more to the front. All 10 toes to the front, toes forward, reach out. Now IT band stretch on the left, all 10 toes to the left. Push down in the right hand, ascend away from the floor, reach the left arm up. Drop your hips, push through the outer blade of the right foot, lift up, lift the hips up, draw the left arm overhead. Exhale, back down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Spiral the left arm forward. Step the left foot back to plank. Lower down onto your knees. Sit onto your heels. Roll the shoulders back. Awesome, you just did great core and glute stability work to support your SI, and you mobilize some of these muscles around the hips, which is also going to release tension that can build up there. This is not a one-time fix, it never is. You're working on adapting your body to be able to do these patterns, find neutral spine, be able to work your core and your glutes in your everyday life, so that in those movements, as you're doing the dishes, the laundry, this and that, you're not using all the pressure on your SI joint, sacroiliac joint. You're supporting it with your body structure and muscular system. Do this video again and again. Let me know how it's going. Drop a comment below and just keep focusing on the healing aspect that your body has. You can do it. It just takes you committing to yourself, taking deep breaths, and just work through the process, because it takes time, but you can do it. I believe in you. Thanks for coming to RX Yoga today. Subscribe for more RX Yoga videos. I'm so happy to be able to help, and I hope it served you. See you next time. Namaste.